In this lesson, we are going to be evaluating trig functions. We're going to be looking for exact values. Now, some of you will have seen this again on a unit circle, where you have to memorize your unit circle, or you have a cheat sheet basically with you all the time. I don't think you need that. I think that all you're going to do is draw your 30, 60, 90 triangle, draw your 45, 45, 90 triangle, and then last piece of information we need is a smart trig class. And so we're going to kind of talk about what all these pieces represent. If you remember from a previous thing, that this is which trig functions are positive in which quadrants. So all of them are positive in this quadrant, sine's positive in that quadrant, tangent's positive, cosine's positive. So in order to do these, we're going to be doing something like finding the cosine of 210 degrees without a calculator. Because a calculator is going to give you a decimal answer, and we're looking for the exact. So this is going to cover 80 probably percent of these types of problems. There is another 20% that we have to deal with, but again, it's still not drawing a unit circle and filling in and populating all those values. So we're going to need two pieces of information. We're going to need a reference angle, and we're going to need a quadrant. And we're going to talk about why we need the pieces that we need. So if we're going to be doing an exact value, for the cosine of 210, I need to know that what is the reference angle associated with this. So we draw a picture. So 210 is going to be 180, and then we're going to be 30 degrees past 180. So that is our reference angle, 30. So we're really kind of doing cosine of 30 is really what we're doing. All right, and some of you are visual, so you may want to like draw a triangle, but you're going to be drawing a 30, 60, 90. I don't love drawing the triangle because I have to make sure that I label all my pieces appropriately. So I draw one triangle. I draw one triangle at the top of a quiz, test, homework, whatever it is, and then I never have to worry about it because I mess up my sides when I start having to draw it and flip it and do whatever. So everything I'm about to do is going to come from either this triangle or this triangle. So cosine of 30 is adjacent over hypotenuse, so I'm getting a root 3 over 2. Now that is basically our answer, except cosine is an x value, and x's are negative in that quadrant. Tangent is your only positive in that quadrant. So I tack on a negative. So our reference angle connects us to the appropriate triangle. Okay, so as soon as we knew it was a 30, we're looking at this triangle. And then our quadrant is going to tell us whether are positive or negative. All right, so we're going to be doing that exact same stuff on two more. So let's say we do tangent of 240 degrees. All right, so 240 degrees, I don't know what the reference angle is on that, so let me draw it. 240 degrees is going to be 60 degrees past, so it's 240 degrees, 60 degrees past 180, so I'm really doing tangent of 60. So tangent of 60 is going to be opposite over adjacent, root 3 over 1. So we're looking at a root 3 as an answer. Go back and box that one. And I don't need the over 1, and tangent in that quadrant is positive. So that is our answer. And if you're not want to double check that that's the right answer, type that into a calculator. Type that into a calculator. You should get the exact same decimal on that. All right, let's do one last. So let's do cosecant of negative 135 degrees. All right, so negative 135, I don't know, not even sure where it ends. I don't know what the reference angle is. I need myself a visual. So first thing I need is my reference angle to connect me to my triangle. Negative 135 is going to be heading this direction. So that is negative 135. Reference angle is 45. And just to kind of help keep track of what's going on, when you're doing exact values, your reference angles are going to be a 30, a 60, or a 45. Anything else, you'd have to use a calculator because I don't know the relationships on any of those other triangles. There is an exception of if it lands on the axis. If it lands on the x-axis or the y-axis, that's the other 20%, and we'll talk about that. But right now, these are just meant to be 30s, 60s, and 45s. So on this one, cosecant. Cosecant is really sine. So I'm really doing sine of 45. I'm going to get that answer, and then I'm going to do the reciprocal of it. And then I'm going to figure out if it's positive or negative. So sine of 45 is going to be 1 over root 2. All right, now I could rationalize that, but that's not what my final answer is anyway. My final answer is going to be the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to do the reciprocal of that, which is going to get me a root 2. I don't need to put it over 1. And then I am looking at sine in this quadrant, which is tangent, is the positive, so sine would be negative because it's a y value. And that's it. I'm done. So all of these problems are meant to be, and you're going to see that everything is going to be a 30-degree reference angle, a 60-degree reference angle, a 45-degree reference angle. That's all meant to be non-calculator exact answer types, exact value types of things. So that was evaluating trig functions. Thanks.